talk a lot about your jobs and capital bill, or works in capital bill. The funny thing is, and you talk about FDR. FDR got in on a platform of tightening the country's belt and spending little money, and then depression hit and he spent more than we ever thought was possible.
Yeah.
Lead into that. Illinois shrank by 30,000 people last year, while every state that borders us increased by a couple thousand.
Mm-hmm.
People are leaving, and the number one reason is taxation. For one, I mean, jobs that all plays into each other. It's more expensive to live here when there's not a whole lot of opportunity. How do you balance that? It's going to be really complex. Illinois is really screwed up.
Yeah.
But how do you create job programs that we need? I'm for them without, increasing taxes even more that scare people away.
So I don't believe people are leaving because of taxes. So we were in the Quad Cities a couple weeks ago.
They are, though.
And
But they are.
They are.
They are.
Middle income tax.
Trust me.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And we were in the Quad Cities a couple weeks ago.
So let me give you
Wait,
another.
let me answer that.
Let me give you another number though. 43 billion is our infrastructure deficit. We need to increase revenue by 1.6. Number one way, if you look at other states right now, marijuana, recreational. But I understand this is a hard state. It's blue in all the cities, but it's red and Bible thumping in the country, majority of the state. It's going to be a hard fight. How do you balance that?
So again, we were in the Quad Cities a few weeks ago. Now, the Quad Cities on the Illinois side is home to John Deere International. But all the executives are moving to Davenport. All the highly paid folks are moving to Davenport and settling down there. Now, what the Illinois Policy Institute will tell you, if you read their article, what they'll say is, see, Illinois is broken, taxes are too high, that's why they're moving to Davenport. But if you actually look at the truth, the top line income tax rate in Iowa, just across the bridge, is 3 times ours. What do you get for the 3 times amount of taxes that they pay? And why they're willing to pay and cross that river? Is stability. See, the thing is about job creators and people who open plants and people who employ people, is ultimately they're employing, it's about people. People make things. And people who work for companies likely have families. And if they have families, they might have children. And if they have children, those children have to go to school somewhere. And if those children go to school, there might be a time in someone's life where you might need social services, or you might need access to proper health care. Now, if you live in a state where all of that is in constant flux or in chaos, or in some instances on the verge of collapse, there are lots of people who would say, I'm just going to take my dollars and fine, I'll pay more, but I get stability on the other side of it. And in the Quad Cities, it's literally one bridge over. So I don't buy that it's just taxes. What I do believe is that we tax unfairly. We tax regressively.
Exactly.
That is the inequity that we need to solve. Because yes, our sales taxes are high. Our property taxes are also high. But the only way you resolve that is by taxing income fairly. And once you tax income fairly, the other pressure points can go down, and you can be more fair. But the conversation that the Illinois Policy Institute perpetuates, when they just look at a top-line number as to how people leave, without actually looking at what's around us, Kentucky has a progressive income tax from 2 to 6%. Iowa goes from 3 to 9%. It's only Indiana that has a flat tax, and quite frankly, I don't want to be Indiana. The thing is, Chicago, Illinois, all of the Rust Belt cities, especially around the Great Lakes, are going to grow over the next half century. They have to. It's because we have water. So places that are going to change with climate change in the southeast and southwest are not sustainable. I know this because my background is in the connection between disaster and poverty and climate change. That's the work that I do. This is gonna, Detroit, Chicago, Toledo, all these cities are poised to grow. But we're poised to grow even faster because we're not just dependent on the auto industry. We're diversified. What we don't have is a fair tax code. And what that means is that basically just puts the brunt and the burden of all the taxes on working people. And the few very wealthy people get away with, for example, you only need to be living in Illinois for 181 days to be a resident. So lots of people just move to Florida or other tax havens. So they work in the financial centers. People like Ken Griffin, they make $40–50 million a month, but then if you file residency in Florida, they don't want to pay the 3.75% that we have to pay, that you and I have to pay. My point is, this is about equity and fairness, and if we're really going to have a conversation about fairness and equity, then let's at least talk about the truth, and that is that the burden always falls on average people, and the wealthy have always figured out a way to get out of paying their fair share.
Thank you.